Good evening to everybody. I see the Roxanne is the first one in tonight and the first one to make a comment tonight. Thank you, Roxanne. I'm currently at, when I last looked, 98 followers. Man, thank you, everybody who's following me, all my new subscribers. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. You guys are a blessing and a miracle. I appreciate every single one of you guys. So a couple things I want to talk about before we start the show is I just brain farted. I've been out busting butt all day and just hopping back in here. Oh, so I started a new book. It's a murder mystery called "Death Haunts the Night." Um, I on my Facebook. I've already started forgetting that part here. Hold on. On my author's Facebook page, down here at the bottom, I have 4 pictures for the cover of the book for everybody to take a pick for. So far, I've got 1 vote for number 2, 1 vote for 3, and 1 for 4. So, much like a lot of other stuff I do with my book, my books, I create the covers, pick out 4 of the ones that I like the most, and I let my followers choose which cover they want for the book. So, on that Facebook page is a chance for you guys to vote on the new cover for the murder mystery. Death Haunts the Night. Yeah, this has been Roxanne. These last few weeks have been extremely busy. Like I have been running nonstop. I mean, just nonstop. So hopefully it'll slow down soon. But yeah, I'm back to not sleeping much again, just because I just ain't had time. Although the last 2 nights I've gotten around 7-8 hours sleep, so I did pretty good the last few nights. So if you guys are interested, go to that my author's Facebook page and put your vote in on what cover you want for the new book. I just literally before I came on finished the first chapter because I wanted to get that done, so I have something to go back to when I'm ready to continue working on it. So I like to do that. If I get a book idea, I like to try to get at least 1 chapter done, and that way, when it's time for me to come back to that one, then I've got an idea of what I wanted for that book. And I'll tell you now, I have no clue who the killer is going to be. Don't know when I'm going to kind of give you good clues on who the killer is going to be. You guys will just have to read and find out. Will it be in this book? Will it be in another? Only time will tell. As of right now, like I said, I don't even know. But the first chapter is done. I literally just finished it a couple minutes ago. So, who out there knows or believes they know about Lilith? I'm kind of you're interested. She is a popular subject that you used to hear a lot about, and you don't hear much about it anymore, hardly. I know Roxanne and I kind of started talking about it. You do a little? Yeah. So before we get into it, I spent a couple days making a lot of notes because there's actually a lot involved with Lilith, a lot more than people realize. She is actually mentioned in many places throughout history and current times, and people don't know about it. Um, Let me switch my banner up here real quick. Um, hey, Straw Dog, how you doing, buddy? So here's a couple of some pictures. Oh, I forgot to take these stuff off from the other day, and I don't want to accidentally click them. Let me remove them off here from yesterday. So this is just, I picked 4 of the pictures that you're going to find when you're doing research of Lilith. This is probably one of the oldest ones, and this is the Sumerian. I believe that was Sumerian, if I remember correctly. You got this one here, which is from the English. Renaissance era. Camera is doing much better today. Good. Good. She is more um she is more like an idol in the feminist movement. Yeah, and we'll touch a little bit on that today, Roxanne. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And then, of course, this is the one that people don't know. And we're going to kind of get into that here in the beginning. And I'll let this picture sink in for a minute because it's a picture that most people know, but they didn't know. Dwayne, how you doing? Interesting as to as this was brought up at Saratoga during the Demali visit. No kidding. Lilith, Adam's first wife. Yep, that is what this picture is about, and this is from the Torah. Well, based off of the Torah. So we'll get into it here. Although the figure of Lilith is commonly found in Jewish folklore and midrash, the origin of Lilith is a Sumerian succubus. So this is where I put this in here because we're going to be talking about two different kinds of beliefs on Lilith. The one of the oldest ones you're going to find is the succubus one, but Lilith ain't mentioned it really until the Torah. So there's a lot of confusion on when Lilith actually was first talked about and first described of being, because she's described as quite a few different things. Another one that people don't realize, she's actually talked about when the dragon was down upon the earth, the seven-headed dragon, and cursing into the heavens, and the female that was on top or on the sitting upon the dragon was Lilith. A lot of people don't realize that. The first Jewish story of Lilith was told in the alphabet of Ben Sirah. Before the introduction of the alphabet of Ben Sirah, Lilith was mostly seen as a demoness instead of the first Eve. Now that is the other name that people don't realize that is hers. She is only mentioned in the Bible or the Catholic Bible. Yeah, it's the only time she's mentioned is when she's on that dragon. Every time I do a show that's got a lot of history and it deals with the religion, there's a reason why I put three different versions of two different versions of the Christian side, which is the Torah and the King James version, because you see a lot that's missing out. So I like to get people to understand, what's going on there. I like the Torah more than I do the King James version when it comes to stuff like this, because the Torah hasn't been cut out. But in a way, even that has too from the original Midrash. So we have to be kind of careful on there. That's why I kind of like to add multiple different things that way we get a point of view from not just from one angle. We get a point of view from where one angle came from another angle, but that angle also came from another. So that's why I kind of like to add those in there. Tonight we'll mainly be focused on King James version. Hey, Freaky, how's it going? King James version, the Torah, the Midrash, and the alphabet will be in the Sumerian. That'll be our main ones we're going to focus on today, as far as information with her, because there's a lot out there, but those are the oldest of the versions. That's why I went with those when we're talking about her. Due to the ambiguity of Lilith, she has been represented in multiple forms in both literature and art. Some theological scholars acknowledge Lilith as first Eve, and there's that name again. Yeah, and that's the way I am, Straw Dog. That's exactly how I am too, because it's like I've always said on this show and when I'm on with William. If you want to know the truth about something, go to the history. The history is going to tell you more than what current day is. And so that's why I love going to history when I'm reading and doing research on stuff. And it is a lot harder to find stuff nowadays than it used to be. I don't know if that's because I'm always researching on things that technically I shouldn't be researching, or if it's just because things are being hidden from everybody. I don't know. While others see her as the demoness, historically in art, Lilith has been portrayed viciously, ranging from her uh, oh man, rescue versions to Lilith in the garden. So this is that part here. So this is giving you the story basis on the two different sides of Lilith that we're going to see. And technically, if you listen to both sides, they're kind of the same too. So, according to the story, Lilith was the first wife of Adam and was made from the dust of the earth like him. She claimed equal status with him and refused to lie under him because of it. Lilith fled the Garden of Eden and refused to come back when three angels tried to persuade her to do so. So God was angry that she left the garden and left Adam and refused to come back. So therefore, he sent three angels to go after her. They like to control and diligently hide the real. Yeah, they do that. And then it's why it takes a lot of digging to get into it, man. It really does. So three angels tried to persuade her to do so. By refusing to submit, Lilith incurred the wrath of God. And the three angels that were sent after her, found her in the Red Sea, where she was cast from paradise forever and became the succubus, a temptress of innocent men. That's what a succubus is. Kind of almost vampiric like. The breeder of evil spirits and the child murdering monster of the night. Lilith's defiance of the masculine order forced her to become the ultimate symbol of all demonized within the traditional society. Chaos, seduction, and ungodliness, she is then cursed to be the mother of demons and would seek to kill all Adam's sons. Adam, now having no wife, was given the more submissive Eve, who would listen to and obey him. So this is where you're seeing the difference between the two Eves. So yes, Lilith was known as the first Eve, but her name was actually Lilith. But she is also known as the first Eve. So she was created from the dirt. Now, some stories will tell you that the dirt that Eve was created from had some filth in with it too. I think that may have been some scholars trying to justify why she was the way she was. I don't know. This is the same Lilith, the mother of all monsters. Yeah. But when they talk about it, freaky, it's of course I'm going on the more the Jewish side and the Sumerian side than I am the modern terms. But yes, back then they called them demons and not monsters. So she was the mother of demons, in which she bore demons. Did not know that. Yeah. So, and that's a lot of things. A lot of people know. I mean, a lot of people grew up the way I did, never knowing about Lilith. Besides that one time it was mentioned, and that was when she was sitting on the seven-headed dragon. It is said a man should not sleep alone, or she will take it. Yep, we'll get into that too. Yes, Roxanne, you're absolutely right. Lilith appears in the Epic of Gilgamesh. In a brief comment, she is one of the creatures Gilgamesh must flush out of the Hulupu tree. And I'm hoping I pronounced that right. So even in the saga of Gilgamesh, which is where the Sumerian side comes in, the clay tablets in Sumeria, we've talked about that quite a few times because Sumeria plays a big Sumerian lore plays a lot of in ancient stuff. The Amplified Bible brings out the understanding. I didn't know that, Straw Dog. I don't think I've ever read the Amplified version. I mean, I've studied a lot of different religions, but I don't think I've studied the Amplified version. I may have to look into that. Lilith is found in the Bible. Isaiah 34 and 35 prophesies the destruction of Edom, Edom. When Lilith is mentioned in Isaiah 34:14, this is the Amplified version, actually, Straw Dog. Here you go. This is the Amplified. I forgot what these other letters are. CEB, LEB, and etc. She is one of the many creatures in a list of all whom represent death, destruction, and evil. Lilith, Lilith is mentioned in the Babylonian Talmud as she is described as a seductress. And this is where the succubus plays back in again. How do you make a book louder? I don't know, Freaky. How do you make a book louder? Oh, amplified. Oh my God, I just got that. Daggone, you got me on that one. So in Genesis, so we're going to kind of talk about where the two Eves come into play and how it's different in one and not the other. Yeah, you caught me on that one, Freaky. I give you that. So in the King James version of Genesis 1, 26 through 28, it reads, "And God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have domination over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over the cattle and over the earth and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." So God created man in his own image, and in the image, and this is what I find interesting. Do you remember the first verse I just read? Genesis 1:26. Let's make man in our image. Right after that, and this is all King James version here, in verse 27 it says, "So God created man in his own image, and the image of God created he him, male and female created them." Uh, It was a joke. I'd stay turned up the volume, so it was a good one, buddy. Verse 28, "And God blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have domination over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over everything living that moveth upon the earth." So what I'm going to do another verse here, and this is Genesis 2:21 to 23, because this is where a lot of people get confused. Because if you listen in chapter 1 and in verses 26 through 28, and you're going to listen in here on chapter 2, 21 through 23, it describes how God created humanity twice. And a lot of people skip over this. And this has been a huge debate in the religion field when it comes to Judaism, Christianity, and basically comes to humankind being born, Adam and Eve. So we're still in the King James version. Genesis 2:21 through 23. "And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord had taken from man, he made a woman and brought her unto man. And Adam said, This is now my bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She will be called woman because she was taken out of man." So right there in chapter 1, he was talking about how he made man and woman from the earth, but in 2, he created woman after man. So you can see the difference. You can see that twice here he was talking about man. And the reason why I want to put these into here, because they're going to play into this Lilith here in a little bit. So the Torah reads in Genesis 1:26 through 28, "And God said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and they all shall rule over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the heaven, and over the animals over all the earth, and over all the creeping things that creep upon the earth. And God created man in his image, and in the image of the God he created him, male and female created them." Oops, went too far. "And God blessed them, and God said to them, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it. Subdue it and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the sky, and over the beast that tread upon the earth." And in 2:21 through 23, Torah again, "And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon man, and he slept. And he took one of his sides. And he took one of his sides, and he closed the flesh in its place. And the Lord God built the side that he had taken from man into a woman, and he brought her to man. And man said, "This time," see there's that key word. This time, it is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one shall be called Ishha. And I'm trying to do this in the Hebrew, which means woman, because she is one. Because this one taken from Ish, which is man. So right here in the Torah, it's telling you that there was an Eve prior to the Eve that we know of, because it says it right here. This time, uh, Lilith, a female demon assigned a central position in Jewish demonology. She appears briefly in the Sumerian Gilgamesh epic found in the oh my God, I just repeated something I talked about a little bit ago. I didn't realize I put that in there twice. So you can see right there, I mean, they are worded differently between the King James and the Torah, but you can see how it's hidden. Like in Genesis, in the King James version, it says in 22 and 23, Genesis 2, 22 and 23, and the rib which the Lord had taken from man made a woman and brought her unto man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. So you can hear it in there, but you can easily miss over that. And that I've dealt with that for years when in the church. And Cain was sent off to live with the others people after killing Abel. I know I'm getting ahead. Yes, he was. I didn't put that in there because that is a common one. I thought was a common one known, Straw Dog. So what Straw Dog's talking about here, when after Cain had killed Abel, he was cast out. So he went to the city to find a wife. And in the city, he found Lilith. I actually forgot about that. That one's in the Bible too. I actually forgot about that. Thank you, Straw Dog. But that is the other time that Lilith is mentioned in the Christian Bible. But Lilith is talked about in Judaism, in the Torah, and the Midrash, and some other ones a lot more than it is in the Christian King James. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I didn't bring up the Cain thing because I'm mainly focusing on how Lilith became Lilith. But you're right. I mean, when Cain was cast out, he went to the city to find a wife, and there he. And in the Torah, if I remember right, it says, and there he found Adam's first wife, Lilith. Where in the Christian Bible it says, and Cain went to the city and to find a wife, and he found Lilith. If I remember correctly, that is the two differences between the two. I could be wrong. It's been a while since that, but yes. It said Lilith bore Cain, I think. I didn't find that, Roxanne. I'd have to do some more research. I can't confirm or deny. I have never seen that. I've always, everything I've ever found was Cain was born from Eve, or second Eve, however you want to put it. Because Lilith never laid with Adam to consummate the marriage. She was rebellious. She's just like, well, we should be equals. I should be on top too. I am woman. Therefore, I am more, and this is where the whole feminism thing came in. I am more than that. And which caused her, when Adam tried to say, look, you're supposed to lay under me, and she rebelled and left. And this is where all this came from, which we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. In the Hebrew Bible, the wildcat shall meet with the jackal, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. Yea, Lilith will repose there and find her a place of rest. And that is Isaiah 34:14. Hey, brother Juno, how's it going? Not much, man. We're just getting into her. So Lilith is damned to not have rest. And I kind of put that in there. And for some reason, I had more there and it's not there. So I'm hoping it'll pick up later on in the Midrash. because there's a reason for it. And the only time that she can find peace, and it talks about it in Isaiah, is whenever the wildcat shall meet the jackals, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. Yea, Lilith shall repose there and find her a place of rest. And that's kind of when she'll stop, basically. The Midrash explains why this by saying that the woman. That's why. That's why I broke it up. That's right. The Midrash explains this by saying that the first woman was created as man's equal, and she was called Lilith. Male and female, he created them. Genesis 1 through 27. The two first human beings argued because Lilith wanted to be on top during sex. And then when Adam would not agree, claiming that she was lesser than him, she pronounced the infallible name of God and abandoned him in paradise. And this is the Midrash version of all this. God sent 3 angels to find her, Sansave, and Smangoloth. And when they reached her, she was already deep into the ocean. She chose to become the wife of the king of the demons, Ashmadi. I can't say that one. Ashmadi. And she became the blood-sucking demon that begged her to return to Adam. They begged her to come back to return to Adam, but she refused. As punishment, they commanded that 100 of her newborn sons would perish every day. In revenge for this terrible punishment, she announced that she would pursue the human infants, the children of Eve. So you see in the Torah, she was talking about how she's going to pursue the sons of Adam, but in the Midrash, she's going to pursue the children of Eve. And this is where she comes into, because when I first found more about her, it was when I was doing research on vampirism. And I wanted to find the oldest recorded case of vampirism in history. That's how I found Lilith. Now, what I read back then versus what I can find now, they're similar, but they're different. So what I found 12 years ago, I can no longer say this is, because this is what I said for a long time, because this is what I read, but I can't find it now to back it up. So I have found it once, and it's not in the place that I found it before. So I left it out because the source I found it from, for one, I really don't want to mention, and 2, I really don't care for. But it's coincides with what she is believed to be. I'll leave it at that. It's a group of people that I do not have a whole lot of knowledge on. So without knowing a whole lot of knowledge of this type of group of people, I really don't want to speak on it because I can't tell you what is true or false. This could have been one person's words that she put in this, or it could be the truth. I have no clue. So I don't want to speak on it because I don't know enough about it. And it's not really, I'm not a fan of that, if that makes sense. So, but I mean, it was the only other place that recently I've been able to find it. Thus, according to Jewish tradition, Lilith is believed to be the responsible for crib death. So this is a lot where now, whenever I read this 12 years ago, in this same thing that I found, it said this is the reason why you name your child at birth, because it said in there after it was either 6 days and 10 days or 9 days and 20 days. I can't remember. If a child wasn't named, then Lilith would come in and suck the soul from the baby, and that's how she survived, and which was the first recorded vampiric encounter that I've been able to find. But nowadays I can't find that, so I don't know if it's just something I happened to stumble across, and I took it as it actually came from that source that I thought it come from, and I was wrong, or it's something that's hidden now that used to not be hidden. I can't confirm either way now. Back then, to me, I thought I found it from the Torah, and I read the Torah now and I can't find it. So I'm thinking maybe, because I was not as intelligent back then about this stuff as I am now. I was still really learning the internet. So I thought it actually came from the Torah, but when I read the Torah now online, I can't find that in there. So I don't know how true it is. But in many cases, she is a succubus, and she does take the life from children and single men who sleep alone. Boys are especially vulnerable to her influence until the ninth day after. Oh, ninth day. Okay, ninth day after after their birth, and girls until the 20th day. Well, that's where the 9 and 20 came from. To avoid her harmful influence, even today, there are new mothers who carry a picture of three angels. So it was believed back in the old days to keep Lilith from taking your child or causing a miscarriage or even the death of the pregnant mother. Not only would they have amulets with subscription or scriptures on it and spells, they'd also have three angels on there because of three angels who pursued Lilith. So this was a common practice amongst childbearing women during pregnancy to keep a symbol or a talisman with three angels on them, or spells that talk about the three angels. Um, okay, to avoid her harmful influence, even today there are new mothers who carry the picture of three angels in their purse or hang the picture over the crib of the newborn. For according to the Midrash, the angels came to an agreement with Lilith that she could not do any harm in any place where she sees three names. After Lilith left paradise, Eve was created from Adam's rib as subordinate to him. So I picked those three things from that, which I knew I had my Sumerian one in here, and besides the Gilgamesh one, could have swore there was more. But for some reason, it's not in there. So maybe I didn't. I probably took it out for a reason. It's hard to say. But so this is where Lilith. Hey, William, how you doing, brother? So when you're thinking, like I said here in this picture here, there was two Eves. There was Lilith and Eve, which later on Lilith was known as first Eve, and then Eve was second Eve. And that's why I chose this picture here, because that's what it represents. And that's a common thing, and that's a common thing that most scholars and ancient researchers talk about. Was there just Lilith? Because they'll tell you Samaria Lilith is known as Lilith, Lilithu, and I forgot the other one. But she's a succubus, which that if a man sleeps alone, so I'm screwed. So when a man sleeps alone at night, they are more subject to Lilith coming to, and some texts will tell you, come to you in a dream where you have sex, and this is how she gets her children. In other versions of it, she comes to you and has sex and takes away your life force. It's two different ways of saying it from two different entities. I mean, she's talked about in Samaria, Judaism, Christianity, um, Greek. Greek even has something on Lilith. There's just a number of them. I just chose these because these are the oldest ones. But you can go throughout history, and in a lot of cultures throughout history, they talk about Lilith. So, William was talking the other day about immortals, in which I didn't think about this at the time he was talking about it. Could this be one of those immortals? Because she's talked about throughout history as still being alive. still preying upon children, still preying upon single sleeping men. Could this be one of those? Possibly. But you can also see here where, and one side of history, she's depicted as a demon the whole time. And in the other part is she was human and then became a demon. And then another part was she married a demon, which created her to be cursed as a demon, where she is now. So you see different versions of her. Um,
Do you have a pen I can use?
you turn my fan on real quick. I forgot to
Yeah.
do that. Don't lose this. This is I need this for my notes and stuff.
Okay. Ready?
No, that's fine. Yeah. Well, yeah. There you go. Leave it there. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that, guys. My daughter came in. So I mean, it's one of those interesting subjects about Lilith, and a lot of people they used to talk about it. Now she, this was brought up earlier. She is the face of feminism, which I see why, because feminism believe the same thing she does. But I'm wondering if these feminists don't realize who they're actually acknowledging. I mean, you're here. Lilith is in much of pop culture, video games, TV shows, movies, um, books. I mean, she is mentioned in a lot of stuff. And like I just said, she is the face of feminism, and I wonder. I don't know. I do know a feminist, but it's not really my place to. She's dear to me, so I won't go there with her. But I don't know of another feminist I'd go to see if they actually realize who Lilith actually is and why you shouldn't have her as your symbol, as your go-to thing. And man, they are messing with my camera tonight. Hello, my friends. It's I don't know, man. Some of them, if they actually knew who Lilith was, I don't believe they would be worshiping her. Because I mean, she is in every single ancient religion. She is a murderer of babies, either A, sucking the life force out of them, or B, strangling them, or C, killing them before birth. If you're a feminist and you worship killing babies, I see where that's coming from. But if you don't worship killing babies, you really got the wrong symbol for you. I'm telling you now. Very well known for doing that. She is more well known for killing children than she is men, but she is known for killing men. But then again, during these times, it was uncommon for a man to be unwed, and that was probably plays a big part in why there's more accounts of her killing children than she is single men. Is because of that factor right there. I could be wrong. That is my theory on why she is, or why it is. No, I don't either, Roxanne. I mean, I can tell you now. Am I a firm believer that the man is the head of the household? He is the protector of the provider and the disciplinary. You're absolutely right. Woman has a very good part too to play. That doesn't mean I'm above woman or woman's below me. A woman is the nurturer. The woman is also the teacher. The woman is the caretaker. We each have our own part to play, and I'm very big into that. That's me. That's my beliefs. Man and woman are equal. There's a reason why men are built the way they're built. Women are built the way they're built, and when we come together, it's like putting a puzzle piece together. Two halves come together to make a whole. We are all equal, and we're only half of ourselves when we're alone. Because in order to be whole, we got to have that other half to come together to be a whole. That's why I'm against that too, Roxanne. I'm very much agree with against that. Um, I'm old school though. I'm very old school. So that doesn't seem to be a popular belief nowadays. That's their problem, not mine. I'm not here for somebody's feelers. I'm just here to educate people. I need to pull something up real quick so I don't forget to do it later on. So on the parts we've covered so far, before we get more into it, has anybody got any questions? And the rest of this is going to be going off of basically just memory I have of what I've researched before. I've been extremely busy this week and weekend, so I've not been able to hit my notes as much as I wanted to. Y'all, I've been running nonstop all week, all weekend. I've been running nonstop. Even today, it has not changed. I've been running nonstop. So I apologize for not having near as many notes as I should have. I've just been busy. But on what I've read so far, is anything that anybody wants me to go back over or wants to talk more about? Any questions before we go on? Okay. So, trying to think which one I want to hit first. We'll start with the vampiric side, because this is the vampiric side is where I have found a lot of, got my interest in her and actually learned more about her than what I was taught in when I was younger, growing up in a Christian church. Because, like I said, my original knowing of her was Cain going to the city to find a wife, and her sitting on the back of the seven-headed beast that looked upon the heavens and cursed the heavens for, was it Straw Dog? Correct me if I'm wrong. 7 days and 7 nights. The beast cursed the heavens, or was it 14 days and 14 nights? I'm trying to remember now. I forgot. I think it might have been 7 days and 7 nights he cursed the heavens. But part of me says 14:2, which I could be wrong on both parts. It's been a while since I researched or read that chapter. I guess I can look that up real quick. Let me pull this over here. Well, if I could spell, we'd be doing all right. Which I didn't know why I didn't think about this before. Here's something else in the Bible that talks about dragons, but yet they say dragons never existed. Here's another thing when I was doing on giants, and in the Bible it talks about giants, yet they say giants never existed. They say dragons never existed. Seven-headed dragon, which is Lucifer, but Revelations 12:15-16. Is that the one I'm looking for? Reason why I ain't getting one of my Bibles out and looking, because it's quicker to go online and do it. If it'll speed up, okay. As far as the curse is found, 12:13. Now, at least amongst the puzzle of apocalypse, indeed, it's verse dealing with. Oh, this is not what I thought it was. 7 heads and 10 thorns. That is the one I'm looking for. Okay, it is in Revelation's reference to it's the beast that have a common description. They each have 7 heads and 10 horns. Another, I think this is the one I'm looking for. This is Revelations 12, 3 through 4. Let me read it real quick. And then another sign appeared in heaven and beheld a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his head were the 7 diadems, and his tail swept away the third of the stars of heaven and threw them into the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she gave birth, he might devour her child. And the great dragon was thrown down, the serpent of old, who was called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was thrown down to earth, and his angels there thrown to him. That's not the one the verse I was looking for. Oh, here it is. Revelations 13, 1 through 8. And the dragon stood on the sands of the shore. Then I saw a beast coming up out of the sea, having 10 horns and 7 heads, and on his horns were 10 diadems, and on them and on his head were blasphemous names. And the beast which I saw was like a leopard, and his feet like those of a bear, and his mouth like that of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his throne and the great authority. I saw on his heads as if had been slain, and this fatal wound was healed, and the whole earth was amazed and followed after the beast. They worshiped the dragon because he gave his authority to the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, "Who is like the beast, and who is able to wage war against him?" There was given to him a mouth speaking arrogant words and blasphemies, and the authority to act 42 months. 42 months was given to him, and he opened his mouth and blasphemed against God, to blaspheme him, his name, and his tabernacle that is who dwells in heaven. It was also given him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and the authority over every tribe and the people and tongue and nation was given to him, and all who dwell on the earth will worship him. Everyone whose name has not been written from the foundation of the world in the book of life of the Lamb of who has been slain. Oh, I didn't have any more than that. I remember Lilith being a part of that. Let me read some more here. Gosh, there's a lot to read to try to find what you're looking for. Oh, why didn't I think of looking at it this way? This would have been a hell of a lot faster. My brain didn't work too well on that one. Lilith and the Great Red Dragon. The demon Lilith of Hebrew mythology is tempted by the 7-headed dragon of the book of Revelations, while a seraph looks on. Let me find. That talks about the amulets I was talking about earlier. So here was the other name, Lilith. So the other names I was trying to remember on Lilith is also Lilith, Lilitu, or Lilis.
I don't care about the game Diablo.
So they were saying there that Lilith was tempted by the great red dragon, fiery dragon, which is said to be Satan. So that's where she played a role in with the seven-headed dragon revelations. But I mean, there's another good example here. She's in Diablo 4. She's in a lot of stuff. Comic books, TV shows, movies. I mean, like we said before, I mean, she's the idol of feminism. So, I mean, you see her play a role in a lot of modern culture, along with a lot in ancient culture as well. I want to click on this real quick with the dragon one. Adam Lilith makes her bargain with the okay. Here in a bid for blah 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 autoimmunity from Adam, Lilith makes her bargain with the great red dragon, whose seven heads represent the seven deadly sins. In my depiction, or in the depiction that's in here, is where she's making the deal with the seven-headed dragon, and a lot of your history, even when the angels had found her in the Red Sea, it says that she took to the sky and flew. And if you read a lot in history, a lot of your ancient cultures talk about her being a winged demon. She was able to fly. I believe it was Isaiah who had found her going to a home of a pregnant woman and stopped her and made her not go, made a deal with her so that she would not do it. And then she turned around and convinced some demons to go in her place. And it was, I believe it was Ishmael or Isaiah. I think it might have been Isaiah. Had confronted the demons and stopped them as well. Protect that home of a birthing mother. So you see throughout a lot of stuff, throughout religion, where she's interacting this, and she's always going to a home of either a woman giving birth, a woman miscarrying, or a newborn in a crib. And like I said, she's talked about doing two different things: either strangling the child. This is a newborn baby, strangling them, or sucking the life force from him. That's how she survives, is off the life force of newborn children or single men sleeping alone. So I guess that's one way of putting it. Guys, if you're married, keep your wife with you. You got a girlfriend, keep her with you. Because if you're a man sleeping alone, she's going to come to you in the middle of the night and either come into your dreams to make babies, or come into your dreams and take your life force. Depends on what side of that field you want to fall upon. So I was trying to think. I wanted to hit a little bit on the amulets. I think it's this one here. Let me get back into it. Why is my internet acting? My internet is being really weird at the moment. for some reason, it's not letting me open stuff up. So, I mean, one thing you want, if you're a pregnant woman, you want to keep the names of the three angels: Sinoi, Sansinoi, or Simengoloff. I might be able. I'm going to copy this and put it in the deal. This will be easier. And that way I can put this up. So there's the names of the three angels that were sent by God to retrieve Lilith, to bring her back to Adam whenever she refused and therefore was cursed that every day 100 of her sons would die. And how she vowed to either on one aspect kill the sons of Adam, or another aspect where she kills the children of Eve. Could that be where both the lone man sleep, or the man sleeping alone, and the children play is because them two different deals? Could be. It's possible. I mean, I know a lot of stuff from the Torah came from Samaria because that's where the Jews came from back then, back in the days of I can't remember if it was prior to Abraham or during Abraham's time, but it was before they wrote the Torah. So before they wrote the Torah, a lot of their stuff, it came from Samaria folklore. That's why Sumerian clay tablets are very similar to the Bible, and a lot of stuff you find in the Torah. I mean, and a lot of stuff you can find in the Torah, you can find in ancient Sumerian clay tablets. They're usually known as a different name, but the story behind it is the exact same that's in the Torah. They just call it by different, like the flood. Prime example. The flood is talked about in ancient Sumerian clay tablets, and it's talked about in the Torah. And it's the same thing, just the name is different. One is, I can't remember the Sumerian name, and then, of course, Noah. But, he's commanded in the Sumerian text, he was commanded by the Anunnaki to create a vessel. In the Torah, he was commanded by God. So there is some differences, but they're the same beliefs. And this is the thing: if you're a pregnant mother and you have a newborn, this is what they're telling you to need to keep Lilith from coming into your home and taking your child, or killing your child at birth, or killing you and your child before birth. These are the three things you need to keep with you: either hanging up on the wall, hanging up over the crib, or in your purse. Something with these. This is the amulet of power that protects you from Lilith. Never says it about if that works for a man or not. I've not found one that says it protects it for a man. Doesn't mean it doesn't. I just haven't found it yet. And I didn't, like I said, I've not had a whole lot of time to dig up a lot of notes. So I see it being a possibility. I'll have to do some more looking into it when I get some more time. We don't want to know how to summon Lilith, so we need to stay away from that. That one's telling you how to summon her. We don't want to do that. Yeah, see, everything I'm finding is talking about protecting the woman and the child. Pray for renouncing Lilith. Now that one there, Does it say man or woman? So that may be how a man protects himself from Lilith, is praying to God for protection against her. I don't know, though. I can't be 100% on that, but that would make sense. Because, praying to God for protection is one of the most powerful ways of doing it. And the thing, too, is when Lilith comes to a man in the dreams, if I remember right, it's commonly she has red hair and she's like stunning. She's absolutely stunning. But she always comes to the man in the dream. Unlike she does with the childbearing woman or the newborn child, she comes in the flesh. In the man, she always comes into him in a dream. Yeah, see, I mean, everything I'm finding here is so far is based off of that. So I don't know. I mean, you guys got any questions on this so far? I know the chat's been a little quiet. Change this real quick. Oh, I see it. That's all right. Yeah, I haven't played a game in a few days, Freaky. Yeah, see, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to go over on this. Um, I mean, a lot of this ancient Jewish stuff is talking about amulets. I mean, keeping amulets with them. Amulet protection, amulet protection. It's woman and the newborn children. So I don't know. I mean, as far as we guys go, I guess the only way we can do it is pray to God for protection, because I mean it's all this stuff is going to that. So what do you guys? Is there anything you guys know that I may have not covered tonight, or is there something you want me to look up on her that I'm not knowing? Oh, I know I can. Hey, I didn't think of. Well, why didn't you do it this way? Even it says, "How does a man guard against Lilith?" Goes right back to amulets, or the amulets, and protecting the women and children. Yeah, uh, yeah, yeah, freaky. I mean, she is a succubus. I believe even in um, oh my gosh, the Witcher, um, Geralt kills a succubus. The succubus comes as his that princess lover that he had to kill. Was it her, or was it? Oh, I forgot that witch's name off the top of my head. The one he's madly in love with. But it comes to him as one of them, and he ends up killing it. I mean, so there's another succubus, but I mean that's what Lilith is known as, and she's known as the mother of demons, also known as the mother of monsters. So, that thing or sad thing about that freaky is if she probably came to my bed, she'd look, "Oh, you poor bastard," and then she'd turn around and run. So, yep, nope, you'd have enough misery of your own. That would be my guess. But oh, that wasn't important. Seen something pop up on my phone. I thought somebody was trying to hit me up on something, but no. So I mean, that's pretty much it. If you guys ain't got anything, I really don't have anything else on her. I may cut this out early today so I can get some rest. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want to cover on that before I forget. Before I get, because there's times I'll be like, well, I don't have, and then I'll be like, oh dang, I forgot to do this. But I mean, if you listen to the stories, I mean, she is one of the original vampire cases out there. She feeds on the living, childbirth, childbearing women, lonely men sleeping, men sleeping alone. Could she be the first vampire? I mean, there's a big debate on that too. That's one thing I looked up. There is a big debate, and although they can't accurately say who is the first vampire, a lot of them point towards Lilith being the first vampire. A lot of stuff is pointing to that, and that's what drew me to her is when I was researching that 12 years ago, was her being the first vampire. So I mean, I beg that question: if she is the first vampire, is she the one that created the vampires after that? Because we know the vampires. I mean, there's U.S. Customs out of Florida recording 7 vampires coming in to the United States in Florida. So I mean, could that be what she's known as the mother of demons for, or the monsters, is the fact that she's the mother of the vampires? Well, I guess I should add that one in there. I read something about that. Right here, out of revenge, Lilith had sex with Adam while he was sleeping and stole his seed. With his seed, she bears Lilith, earthbound demons, to replace her children killed by the angels. Lilith is also said to be responsible for males' erotic dreams and night emissions. Funny, I don't wonder why giants are described with red hair and Lilith. Yeah, supernatural connection. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't even think about that, brother. That's a very good point. That is a really good point. Because you can see this Renaissance picture of her. She got red hair. And she, like I said, she's talked about throughout history. It's not just ancient times. She's talked in modern history, even. Medieval times like this. I mean, that's actually a very valid point, brother. I was thinking more along the lines of vampires, because she's known as one of the first vampiric cases in history. Could she be the mother of the red-haired giants? Yeah, that's hey, Madison. I went pretty much over everything already, but I can give you some cliff notes and stuff like that. We jumped in late, and I don't know if it was mentioned, but isn't it also said that she is the mother of the Nephilim? That's kind of what me and William was just talking about right now. The fact that there's a connection between red-haired giants and Lilith, because Lilith was known for having red hair too. And this is what I was showing here. This is the Renaissance painting of Lilith, because Lilith is talked about throughout history. I focused on the first history on this one here. But I mean, right here, I mean, this is Renaissance time, and they're still talking about Lilith. But, you know, I was posing the question, you know, she is known as the first vampiric case ever recorded. Could she have been the mother of vampires? And that's when my brother William here said, you know, giants are described with red hair and Lilith is supernatural connection. Yeah. You know, like I just read here, out of revenge, Lilith had sex with Adam while he slept, was sleeping, and stole his seed. With his seed, she bears Lilith, earthbound demons, to replace her children, and killed by children killed by the angels. Lilith is also said to be the responsible for males' erotic dreams and night emissions. Let me hit up Lilith. Let me research Lilith real quick. Oops, come on. It's got me kind of curious at the moment. Yeah, I mean you're spot on with that, brother William. You really are spot on with that. Pretty sure we're not looking at vibrating technology when we're looking at that. Lilith or Lilin are dangerous demons similar to succubus that reside in hell. The Lilith were conceived through Lilith alone, though some of them claim, I guess it wouldn't let me bring up more than just that, so I got to actually go into it. I was trying not to go into this freaking thing because I don't want to be tied to it. Now, this one here says the union between herself and Samuel. So, I mean, there's another one there. Hey, Amber. No worries. No worries. You know, so I mean, here you got it. You're hearing that she slept with Adam while he was asleep and stole the seed, and now you're hearing also that she slept with Samuel. Let me go down a little further here. Huh. Let me open this page up and I get to it. According to legend, Lilith, Adam's first wife, rejects his domineering ways and leaves him, only to be condemned to a cave except during a full moon when she bears demons. Oh, you had to get up right when I was reading, didn't you? Save for 3 who escape and circle the globe to destroy the horrors their mother spreads. The Lilith cannot eat, bear children, or age. Yet they grow attached to people and learn the heartache of loving and losing. Being human is all they desire. Between fierce battles and tender moments, the Lilith render TLC to all they meet. So this is, I don't know, this is saying they're good. Just look at images of Lilith, and not only does she have red hair, she's got brown hair and in some shots dark skin. Yeah, I seen that too. That was Babylonian, I believe, Freaky, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I mean a possibility of her changing colors, hair color. Absolutely. I mean, she comes to the man in their dreams. So I mean, that is not far fetched to. Amber, are you trying to say you're Lilith? Did she? But the fact that she pops in on the dreams of lone men or of men sleeping alone, I yeah, I mean, I can absolutely see that. But if I remember right, Freaky, that one you're talking about, if memory serves me correctly, that was Babylonian. Yeah. So I mean, this here is saying that Lilim are caring people, which I've never heard of that before. That is out of the Lilim by Pablo Omar Zaragoza, Susan Griffin. And it's wanting to go right back to Lilith, but I'm trying to look up her children on Lilim. I was wondering if AI is messing with pictures, the dark skins. I mean, that's a possibility too, bro. That it really is. But I mean, I seen the same pictures, and I'm pretty sure it had Babylonian next to it, though. Then again, that you're right. I mean, that also is a good point. AI could be saying that. Yeah, they got a flyer called the Leland Regal. Why is this not giving me much information on the Leland demons? Huh. This is saying that Lilim demons are girls, are the daughters of Lilith. I'm gonna have to dig into that some more. Get caught back up here. Antichrist will be more collective and coming in the form of yeah. I mean, that could have been why when I pulled it up, it had that tech thing, Amber. You're absolutely right. Yep, she's caring all right. She will care for you. And yeah, no joke. Like I said, she'd probably come in my dream, go, "Oh, you poor bastard, you're tortured enough. I'll leave you alone." The eighth spear is a lot like the World Wide Web. I'm going to have to look into that. Google Scholar. That sounds familiar. I don't know if I've used that before or not, but that does sound familiar. Lilim are the relative value of symptoms. Transmitting medicine across religions. Demons and mental disorder. This is all pulling up medical stuff. Uh, so I just got, is there a connection between her and the four horsemen? We can look that up. Oops. Fat fingers. While death sought to resurrect humanity, Lilith had to hope to manipulate him into bringing back the Nephilim, the angel demon hybrids that she created, and that the four horsemen also were. Now, there's your Madison. There's your answer to that. So it says here, while death sought to resurrect humanity, Lilith had hoped to manipulate him into bringing back the Nephilim, the angel demon hybrids that she created, and that the four horsemen also. So right there goes right back to what we was talking about a little bit ago, too, William, between the red haired giants and Lilith. To create that, and the four horsemen also were. She took to hunting Shadow's Edge, where she knew the horsemen would come from, or come for the demon held key to the well of souls. Interesting. I actually did not know that. That's something new for me. I'm trying to. I got to do something different. My screens and my mic. Darksider 2 has Lilith in it. This says here Nephilim, the children of Lilith. So I mean that's yeah, you're exactly right, William. So I mean that's something I didn't even know that, but once you said it, I was like, damn, that makes sense. And I never put the two together before because I've always associated her with vampirism because of that, and I've often wondered if there was a connection between her being the mother of vampires. But I mean, right now I'm popping up several stuff saying she's the mother of Nephilim. I mean, because to me, I mean, how I grew up always knowing it, Nephilim were born of the fallen angels that came, or the Watchers that came down to Earth and fell in love with the human women and mated with them, and therefore the Nephilim came about. And this here is saying that Lilith is the mother of the Nephilim. I've never, wow. I've seen that a few times. Lilith, Lucifer's wife. I've heard that, seen that in a couple of stuff. That once she was casted out of the Garden of Eden, once she left and was never came back, that she married Lucifer. But I've not. I've only seen that a few times. Trying to see if there's got anything else on it. I mean, so many things have her depicted as this winged demon after. Yeah, she's the mother of evil. Yeah, absolutely, William. Absolutely. I do not want to summon her. Why do I keep seeing stuff to summon her? I do not want to summon her. That's why I didn't want to hop on that one page. Now it's just getting into a bunch of video games and stuff like that has her. I mean, that's a wow. Let me click on that one dealing with the Nephilim. Oh, daggone, it's a PDF. Oh, okay. Not a problem. Not a problem, Madison. Yeah, if that's how you need to get with me, then that's fine. You can do that because I keep it here in case somebody tries to message me something on the side, just on occasion like that. So you're fine, Madison. You can hit me up on that. I really don't want to pull this up on a PDF, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it any other way. So let's take a look into this. I don't want to join to be able to look at it. Boo on you. So, according to Marcel Porthos, Lilith and the Nephilim are not a common or are not an uncommon characters in modern day pop culture at large and in video game culture, especially in the 3 video games. Oh, never mind. That wasn't what I was thinking. So okay. So on that, it was talking about the game Diablo, William. The connection between the giants and vampires and the controlling of of this world with shadow government. Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier. They have U.S. Custom papers from Florida letting vampires into the United States. So, if there's not vampires, why is U.S. Customs stating it on a government official document that these are vampires coming into the United States through Florida? And like I said earlier in the show, I mean, whole reason why I got onto the subject of Lilith 12 years ago is because I was researching for the very first recorded vampiric action, which brought me to Lilith. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean that's I've kicked that around several times. I've never brought it up though, William, because I've never had anything to prove it. But I've often wondered the same thing. Which, if you like that movie Twilight's, what does she first do where's she at, and what does she do when she first turns? Went after a rock climber in the national park. Yeah. Because back then, when I was researching that, I'd found her on that. And werewolves is where I found that story between the two Native American brothers who was out hunting. And this is the northwestern part of the United States. I don't remember what tribe it was. But they were out hunting and they were very successful. And they came upon an old man in the woods. And the old man had asked for some food. And the 2 brothers were like, we have plenty to share amongst ourselves and the people of our tribe. Have some of our food, grandfather. And so they gave him some food. And he was very gracious, or very thankful for the gift of food that these 2 young hunters gave him. He goes, for your kindness, I'll bestow upon each of you the gift of the wolf. They was able to transform into a wolf to become better hunters, to be able to hunt for more food. That was his way of thanking them for being so kind to him. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he wasn't the first one, Roxanne. He really wasn't the first one. So in the beginning, the 2 brothers can transform between regular wolf form and human form. One brother used his gift for good, and he was able to continue shape-shifting back and forth between the 2. The one got power hungry with his gift, and it morphed him into a standing humanoid type wolf. And he was forever in that form, never allowed to go back to human form. And that was like one of the oldest werewolf things I'd found in the United States was that story there. And I don't remember what tribe it was. I remember it being in the northwestern part of the United States, but I absolutely do not remember what tribe that was. But it tells you about the 2 different, types. Humans that could transform into a wolf, and then a humanoid wolf that can no longer go back to human form. But when I was doing this research 12 years ago, that was the two stories I came across. One for vampire, which was Lilith, and then that one there, which was the oldest werewolf stories in the United States, which was that one. And that's how I came. I mean, that's 12 years ago, though. I know I've forgotten some of it. That was the down and dirty to it. What? I want to take this subject here in Google Scholar, copy, paste, and see what Google Scholar says about the connection between Lilith and the Four Horsemen. It goes, that's for the game Diablo, though. The legend of Lilith and of the wandering Jew in the 19th century literature. Huh. I think you're right. Yes, that sounds very familiar, William. The Shoshone people. I'm pretty. Was I close on recalling that? Because, like I said, that was 12 years ago. I'm pretty sure that was the gist or the down and dirty of it. I can't remember. But I remember one of them used his gift for good, and he was able to switch back and forth, and the other one used his gift for wrong, and therefore was ever changed into what we would call Dogman nowadays. But when I researched it, it was werewolf. Because I remember the brother used it for evil was a cross between a human-shaped werewolf that can go on all fours or bipedal. I remember that part of it. But he was forever cursed to be in wolf form, never allowed to go back to human form. But I think, if I remember, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was pretty close to how the story went. It's been such a long time since I looked that up. And I tried to look it up last year when I was talking to DA about it, and I couldn't find it no more. I was like, what the hell happened? I remember this story very vividly. So you saying that makes me know that I wasn't crazy, because I was trying to tell DA about it. I was like, I remember this oldest werewolf deal. Of course, I was mistaken at the time. I was thinking the oldest one, period. But I was wrong. It was the oldest one in the United States. And that, because I think about it and now I'm remembering, no, it was the United States I was looking at. Because he brought up Egypt and the god horse. And I was like, I didn't think about that. And it just dawned on me that's because I was researching the United States. I wasn't researching the world. But yeah, so Shoshone. But I believe you're right because Shoshone sounds real familiar. So I think you are correct on that. Yeah, like it's been 12 years. So I mean So I mean, here we got ties to Lilith being a vampire. We got Lilith ties with hey Griff, how you doing, buddy? To the red-haired giants, the Nephilim, and we got ties to her, the Four Horsemen, trying to bring the Nephilim back. Now that, like I said, though. Everything on that I found was for the game Diablo. I don't know how much I could put stock on that with the Four Horsemen, but I can't rule that out either because they could have used that story to create the storyline for that game. I'll have to dig more onto that at another time. I feel you, man. Yeah, I've been running nonstop all week. I thought I was going to have a break after last night and the second play was done. And then all of a sudden I get told, oh, by the way, you got to be here at 1:30 tomorrow to break down the set. And I'm like, did I not get a break yet? That's all right, though. She did great. I'm so proud of her. And she's going to do theater again next year, so I can't wait to see what she does next year. This was her first role. She's always been a backstage manager and equipment operator, and she actually got a role this time. So I was like, my girl, I'm a happy daddy. But then I had to borrow a mower because my mower's broke down and waiting on the part to come in that, excuse me, sounds like it's on back order. And I had grass up to my knees. I was like, I need a mower. I said, I got a mow. I said, you can't rob a part off another one put on here. I need my mower. And they're like, well, we'll let you borrow this one. So I got to take it back tomorrow morning. So I'm going to be an hour late for work because I got to run down there and drop that off at 7 o'clock in the morning when I'm supposed to be clocking in for work, and then rush over to work, get started on there, which I'm looking at 4 to 7 installs tomorrow alone. So it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. But I finally got at least my front yard. I got my front yard and part of my backyard and part of my side yard mowed. So I didn't do the other parts of my other yards, and I didn't do my field or my driveway. So, I mean, I still got a lot to do, but I was mainly worried about this because all the ticks and the snakes and everything else. Oh, that is interesting, William. Last time I was in Iraq, I was in Cobb Spiker, Iraq, which lays over close to the Tigris and Euphrates. So if you're familiar with Revelations, when the end time happens, the Tigris and Euphrates will dry up, which will bring upon basically the apocalypse. Now, the Tigris and Euphrates is also said to run from the Garden of Eden. And in the Tigris and Euphrates is also where Jesus is going to come back on the last time of this earth before it's destroyed and rebuilt again. So the Tigris and Euphrates has a lot of biblical context to them. And the last time I was there, it was on fire for 3 days. My first 3 days there because they had an oil spill. So they figured, hey, how we fix this is we strike a match to it. So the Euphrates was on fire for 3 days the last time I was over there. So, I mean, it is kind of cool. I walked in the areas where Jesus himself had walked. So, but yeah. So, I mean, there's more to this than I didn't even think about putting Nephilim with her. Curious of what Scholar has to say about Lilith and vampires, though. Oops. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, he did. And, like when I was talking in the beginning, too, there's actually, in one of the sagas of Gilgamesh, he deals with Lilith and tried to get him out of that trees forest. This is here says Daughters of Lilith, Women Vampires in Popular Literature. Explore Lilith is the main. Okay, so that's a mythology study. Lilith, a mythology study. One of the main aims of this thesis is to explore Lilith's roots. Lilith is the main character, my characteristic of demoness. Indeed, Lilith is sometimes cited as the mother of vampires. That was a thesis that someone did in college, that her research said that she was the mother of vampires. The other Eve, how reading Lilith reveals the maternal Gothic, eating death, hunger, power, and the female vampire of the Fendi. So I will butcher this. Silical evolution of the vampire from mythologies of the ancient world to the 20th century goth fiction. So I mean, there's stuff in here talking about how Lilith is the mother of vampires. Some say female, some say vampires. So I mean, there's a connection there too. Yeah, I mean, I've got that picture of Gilgamesh's tomb. I can pull that up for you real quick, and I mean, I can't believe just how's a good way how in shape or how well preserved Gilgamesh is in his tomb. I got to remember where that's at. Show material. I believe it's giants. Let me take a look in that one. It's either in that one or stone giants. I'm pretty sure it's not in that one. So let me go to stone giants. Oh, it's not in that one. Okay. Got to remember which one I had it in. Could have swore it was in one of those two, though. Unless I overlooked it. Oh, I did. Daggone. Okay. I was right. It was in Giants. I think my scroller. Yep. I'm waiting on it. There we go. That's Gilgamesh in his tomb. They had found his tomb. I mean, he's well preserved in that. We have solved the chain linking this all together. Lucifer to Lilith, Lilith to vampires and red-haired giants, and finally the royal bloodline because red hair is prominent. Yeah, that is, yeah, red hair is a certain individual. I can't say on here because it's something they don't like mentioned on this platform. Actually has a title, the true royal bloodline. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense with the red hair. I mean, she is depicted throughout history of having red hair. But I mean, Freaky was also spot on, man. Freaky, I mean, because I seen the same thing he did, and I'm pretty sure that was Babylonian. Now, could that have been AI generated? Absolutely, it could have been AI generated to throw people off. I will not dispute that because when you read ancient text, like in the Torah and stuff like that, she has red hair. Not the Torah. I'm sorry. Was it the alphabet of Ben? I think it was, but one of those, she has red hair. So not out of the realm of possibility on that whatsoever. I need to have it. I forgot about my banners again. So Glades had brought something up on my bonfire when he tried to type that in. For some reason, it didn't work, and I had to do it a different way to get it to work. I've typed that in and it worked, so I'm not for sure. I'll have to play with it again. But the name of the program on there for my merchandise is The Bizarre and the Unknown. I have all my book stuff under that same deal because I didn't want several different ones. So, I mean, all my merch for that stuff, that could be why redheads have such a bad reputation, Roxanne. Known as fiery little firecrackers. There's actually a joke I have about red hairs and blondes, but I'm not going to mention on here because I'll get in trouble. So, actually, I could say part of it. There's certain parts I got to leave out. Do you know what a blonde actually is? I'll give you guys a second to think of the answer. I can't say the full joke because I will get in trouble on here if I say the full joke. Yeah, no joke, William. That's asking for trouble. And so a blonde is a redhead that's had the fire blanked out of them. That was the joke. A blonde is a redhead that's had the fire blanked out of them. So I guess that is one way to calm a redhead down. So, but yeah, I mean, that honestly, I need to get with you on that, William, because I mean, this is a very valid point. And I can't help but continue thinking on this and how this all fits together. Honestly, it really, I'm not telling you all this is gospel. I'm not telling you all this is true. This just happens to be a very new theory. But it's a theory that really has a lot of weight to it. Yeah, we do. And that's the thing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, because my mindset on the royal bloodline is what the royal bloodline that we think is the royal bloodline and not the true royal bloodline. The true royal bloodline actually dates back to King David. But the royal bloodline that sits upon the throne now is not the true royal bloodline, but is the Nazi people put in power disguised as the royal bloodline. And I'm guessing that's the royal bloodline you're talking about, but if I'm wrong, let me know. That way I'm kind of thinking on the same page, because that's what I'm thinking when I read that. But we do have to let everybody know the connection. But that is a very valid theory. That is something we're going to definitely have to dig into, bro. We're definitely going to have to dig into that, because that's really fits together nicely. And she, Lilith is known for destroying things. So, yep, I figured that's what you was talking about. I just wanted to make sure, because that's exactly where my brain went to. Exactly where my brain went to when you said that. Because that's the thing, people. You don't realize the royal bloodline that you think is sitting on the throne now is not the true. It is not. Absolutely the not true royal bloodline. They were put in during World War II by the Nazis so that Nazis can gain power. They are not the true bloodline, man. You can look back to the lineage and see the difference and see the gaps. It's not. That is a subject for a different story, but do your research. I implore you, do your research on that, and you'll see what I'm coming about on that. Because the true bloodline actually does date back to King David. You actually follow the true royal bloodline. Pre-World War II, more along pre-World War I more than anything, actually goes back to the lineage of David. And there's a certain individual, I will not mention names, that has that lineage in him. Now, hopefully I'll remember all this. Laugh out now, note to self, write it down. Yeah, actually, I've got another pen. I was going to say, she took my pen. You've really sparked my interest, because half of what you said there is what I was getting at. And I never thought to put the Giants and the Royal Family in with the two. Oh, Glades, if you're listening, I watched that Fire in the Sky today. That was a good movie. And man, the details and the graphics of that movie, wow. If you guys have not seen Fire in the Sky, watch Fire in the Sky. It's about an alien abduction of Walton. Tom Walton? No. Mike Walton, I think. I forgot now. Research the ties between Lilith giants, vampires, and the current royal bloodline. And the fact. Sorry, I got to read this out so I can capture what I'm wanting to write down. They have red hair. So I do have one question for you, Wim, that I'm not familiar with. I've never found this on any of my vampiric research. Are vampires common with red hair as well? I've not seen that in any of my research, but it's just curiosity. Man, that makes a lot of sense. I'm glad you said that, brother. I really am. I would never put the Giants and the royal bloodline in there. I mean, Lucifer, I heard that a lot. Huh. Yeah, we may have to do a show on that. Or, I mean, at least I will. I may have to do a show on that sometime. I'm always looking. If I can have time to have it done by next weekend. Huh. Well, think about it. Why else would Putin invalid Ukraine brothers? Yeah. Or Putin invade Ukraine brothers. He's fighting for the elimination of. Yeah. And that's the thing. That it really is a thing people do not understand. He is not over there invading a foreign country. Ukraine is a state of Russia. They never filed for separate statesmanship, so therefore they are a state of Russia, and that is why the UN cannot get involved. Also, he is over there taking out the Khazarian mafia, which is remnants of the Nazi Party. And if you actually study one of the I forgot the name of it off the top of my head, the Ukrainian army, one of the main Ukrainian armies, their battle flag is a swastika. So people don't realize during World War II, Nazis were never destroyed. They went to three places. They went to Ukraine, Argentina, and California, i.e. Hollywood. Hitler did not die. That was a stunt double. And there's plenty of proof showing that he was down in Argentina. Now, Argentina is known as Little Germany because there's a bunch of blonde-haired, blue-eyed people down there, and they speak German. The true Argentinians were wiped out, and now there's nothing but them. Yeah. Exactly. So the difference between Russia and the United States is when they're trying to get rid of the cabal, the Khazarian mafia, whatever it is you want to call them. Russia can do it a lot easier than we can because Russia doesn't have a constitution. Certain people like to destroy the Constitution, but they like to hide behind it as well. So we're coming up on that 2-hour mark, folks. So let's hit a couple things real quick. I'll get back up here in my banners. If you're interested in the books that I'm writing, which once again, I have put 4 artworks out there for a new book I came up with yesterday. I've got first chapter done. It's a murder mystery called Death Haunts the Night. And this is one thing I've told you guys several times. I love having you guys involved when it comes to the artwork of my books. I create different kinds of artwork, and then I put it out there for you guys to vote on. But if you're interested in my why did Ukraine attack Don OS in 2014 and 15? So I'm trying to think how I can word this without getting in trouble, Roxanne. Yes. And if you remember, a certain individual gave her a letter and grin. And that's when, well, I shouldn't say gave her, gave something looked like her a letter and grin. So I got to word this correctly so I don't get in trouble, Roxanne. These certain entities that control Ukraine, the supposed powers, the face that you see, they're all part of the same organization. So there is a lot of certain kind of trafficking that goes through Ukraine. And not the pleasant type that we're thinking of. That also goes through, when it deals with certain little symbols that people are dirt poor and then all of a sudden become millionaires overnight. That gets funneled through their traffic through there too. And what's happening with what our stuff now. But certain thing that most Americans and most people around the world does not abide gets trafficked through Ukraine. A lot of operations are ran through there as well. And when they have something they want, certain families will do what it takes to get what they want to not only keep power. yeah, right, brother. Not only to keep power, but to gain more power. So that's kind of what I'm hitting at on that. It's a power grab. A certain individual threatened them, and that's why a lot of stuff goes on, because he threatens their whole operation. And the fact that things are getting exposed every day about the truth that goes on over there, like I said, I have to be very careful because I can't say something too many times. Yeah. But it deals with power. I got to figure out a better way to describe it. It deals with power. Deals with a lot of power and greed. Think about it. What have we not had during a certain 4-year time frame? And now we've had multiple things happen, and we're getting ready to happen again. Certain little family entities create certain things so that they can gain a lot more money. There's an old saying, war is very profitable. Chaos is very profitable. Death is very profitable. That's about the best way I can describe it. If you guys are interested in my books, you can find them on Amazon. You type in my name, E.D.Testerman. When you find my books, you'll click my name under, which takes you to my authors page. Anytime I release a book, and you can find all my books on there, but anytime I release a book, it will give you a thing letting you know I've got one released. I'm saying it again, and I'm not suicidal. Exactly. Folks, I am not suicidal, nor will I be suicidal. Yeah. No. I love myself too much. Sometimes more than I should. You can go to Amazon and find my books. if you're interested in every time like I did today, or yesterday, I informed everybody that I have a new book idea. I released 4 artworks. You can go on there and vote which one you like. This is one way to let my followers and my readers interact with me and my books. It always is, Roxanne. It always is. I deal with it daily. So if you go to, you'll see me in my cowboy hat and my sunglasses, which I've got to get contacts soon. I'm getting tired of wearing my glasses all the time. You can go on there. Anytime I release a book, come up with a new book idea, or I want to involve my readers and my followers in my book making process, it's all done on my author's Facebook page. If you haven't already, hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Let's grow this world, man, this universe. I have some of the most amazing followers. And once again, to all my new subscribers, when I last checked, I was at 98. I thank you guys so much. Every single one of you subscribers are the greatest subscribers in the world, the greatest followers in the world. And I am truly blessed to have every single one of you guys. What I do when I write or when I do a podcast is for you guys. I am truly blessed of every single one of you guys. If you have an encounter you want me to do a story about or just tell me about, you can email me here at cryptid and mythological at gmail.com. If you want to be anonymous, I'll keep you anonymous. If you want me to just do a video on it, I'll do a video. If you want to come in on the campfire chats and talk about it, you let me know and I'll put you on there. If you guys ain't doing it already, follow D.A. Roberts on DNX Machina. Fountain of wealth of information. The man is very knowledgeable. I highly recommend him. And he's also an author, extremely talented author. If you go to Amazon, type in D.A.Roberts, just like me, it'll pull up his book. You click his name underneath that book, it'll take you to his fans page, authors page. And you do the same thing. Hit that, and anytime he releases something, it'll let you know. My good brother who's in the chat has been working with me tonight, Mr. William Nighthawk himself. Here, let me pop that up. If you guys, the same thing with William, if you got anything you want to talk to him about or let him know or want us to do something on or him to do on, hit him up at lakotaman333@gmail.com. Let me screenshot that so I can add that to your banner, brother. Actually, I can think. Give me 1 second. Actually, I might be able to do it right now. Let me take that off for a second. Yes, I can. Look at me getting all sophisticated. Make sure I spelled that right. I should have did that before I hit enter. Yep. Pop that back up. There we go. Go down here. Take that off. Okay. You can sit there and find him on YouTube at William Nighthawk 6630. You'll see my fluffy butt on there Saturday and Sunday mornings co-hosting with him. And he is an extreme wealth of information as well. And a lot of really good ancient Native American lore when it comes to cryptid, paranormal, supernatural as well. But the man has an endless amount of knowledge when it comes to a lot of this stuff. So please give him a follow on YouTube. This good friend of mine, good brother, Jesus Payon Jr. If you guys know Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and he's been in several other movies as well. And he's also a new author. You can find him on YouTube at Breaking Discoveries and Breaking Bigfoot. Another man, a lot of great information. Highly recommend it. If you guys are interested in sharing your encounters or talking about your encounters, my Saturday night shows, Campfire Chats with Eric and Guest at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, is the safe place where you can come and do that. We will not look down upon you with all that stuff. I do not believe in that. It is a safe place for you to come and have your encounters. Even if I do not disagree, or even if I do not agree with you, does not make me right, you wrong, or you right, me wrong. We have a differences for a reason, and we come together to come for truth. If we do not come together and we stay divided, then we can never come to the truth. I want to help bring the truth out, and this is a place where we can do it. If you guys are interested in the docuseries I was in, Byways of Bigfoot, you can go to Linda Eastburn's YouTube channel, and that documentary will be in there. It's called Byways of Bigfoot, and you see my flippy little hillbilly butt running around the woods and talking about all that stuff and seeing what we've had. Mr. Robbie Rip Rains from DX Machina has his own YouTube channel called What's Really Out There. If you're looking for short videos to kind of watch to kind of kill time, man's got a lot of good information. Him and Johnny do a great job at it. Go to YouTube and look up What's Really Out There, and it's What's Really Out There at 7170. Also, I recommend it a lot. I highly recommend it a lot. Another good one, Jessica Jones. So if you go to YouTube, look in the Cryptid Huntress. Jessica, she's killing it. Jessica is killing it out there. You guys would not be disappointed in the content she has. I recommend going to follow her as well. So at the end of my shows, I made a little quote that I like to read. And I was always going to change it, but I never have. So let me close out of this. There comes a time when the warrior falls. They leave this realm and will be missed by all. Raise a glass and keep them in your heart. They have kept this realm safe and performed their part. Look to your veterans, your active duty, your EMTs, and the blue line. What they do or have done was walk that fine line. When the demon comes calling on your soul, they will be there to save us all. Hold them in your prayers, for they are deserving. They all have served or are serving. Everybody, until next we meet, peace, love, and blessings to you all. And I hope you have a blessed night. And thank you for coming in and listening to me ramble on. And until we meet again.